Hey guys, happy Saturday afternoon. This is going to be the second time I've gone out and tried doing a little filming. This will be, if this one comes out well, this will be the first video I've posted so far. I live in southern Colorado. I'm actually 56 years old, married, 3 grown kids, 2 grandkids, and I had to kind of laugh because when I started kind of getting this idea that I was going to try the vlogging, I'm sure that my kids thought I was absolutely out of my ever-loving mind. So I actually came up with I think what it's going to be under is Old Guy Adventures. It's kind of funny because I have a number of different folks that I watch on YouTube. Her Two Wheels, Moto Jitsu, Ride the Food. There's just a whole bunch of them. Really love watching their videos, and was kind of like, well, I never tried anything like this, but hey, what the heck? Let's give it a shot and see if anything comes out good, and if it does, see if anyone will watch them. I mean, anyhow, it's Saturday afternoon, and like I said, this is day 2 of trying this. I had some audio difficulties yesterday, so I think I got those figured out, and so I figured I'd go out and take a little ride. Like I said, I live in southern Colorado, kind of just about 45 minutes or 30 or 45 minutes from both Pueblo and Colorado Springs. The town we live in is pretty small, a couple thousand people. We've lived here for a lot of years now. Raised 3 kids here. My 2 youngest weren't even born when we moved here. They were born after we got here. My oldest wasn't even a year old when we got here. So, like I said, it's been a few years. So, kind of running through town here, and then I'm gonna shoot out onto the highway, one of the small state highways. I'm actually hoping that I'm gonna be making a trip later on in April here over to Oklahoma and then into Missouri. We're actually going to be making a move to Missouri, hopefully in the next 6 months at the very most, but we'll see how that goes. Kind of over Colorado. I love the mountains. I love a lot of the people that still live here, but I'm over the stupid politics. You may or may not agree with my political views, and if you don't like them bad enough, just don't watch the videos. Like I said, I'm over living in this blue state that keeps coming up with dumber and dumber ideas of what's going to help society and everything. And so I'm tired of a government that wants to give all the rights to the criminals. That gets old really quick. Anyhow, let's get on to like today. Today I'm going to make a little run through here. End of the month, I'm hoping to make a pretty cool video. I'm going to get the camera mounted on my handlebars so you can kind of see me also. I've got an older GoPro I'm going to use for that. The camera that I'm recording on right now is a Queso or a Caso. It's a less expensive camera. I did like the video quality so far. I think it's kind of cool. And it's way cheaper than some of the GoPros and DJIs and things such as that. And from what I've seen lately with the folks that are running the GoPros and stuff, A lot of them are having some really bad problems with overheating, so kind of steering clear of those a little bit. Anyhow, the trip, the end of April, beginning of May there, I'll be over in Oklahoma. I'm actually probably going to throw my bike. I ride a 2015 Triumph Tiger 800, an XRX, the GT version basically, not the Rally. And I'm going to load it up and take it over with us. No, I'm not going to ride it all the way there. I got way too much stuff I got to take with me. Anyhow, we're going to take it along, and I think I'm gonna take a day and ride over to the eastern part of Oklahoma to Talamina Drive. I made that same ride last spring. I actually went down and rented a Indian Challenger from the Indian dealer in Oklahoma City. Super nice folks, amazing bike. Never really had been into the bagger thing or that sort of bike. Took a little to get used to the forward controls on it, things like that. I grew up riding dirt bikes and ATVs, so the positioning on my adventure bike is way more natural to me than that forward control position with your feet further out in front of you. But it was, like I said, an amazing bike, amazing ride. First time I'd ever really taken off like that by myself. Told a number of folks that's probably one of the most relaxing 24 hours I've had in a long time. I took and went over there and wasn't riding with anyone else. So it was kind of cool. I love riding with like my oldest son. He rides. He actually has a early 20s Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro that he loves. Sweet bike. Rode it for the first time a while back. Really like it. But anyhow, it's the first time I'd gotten a chance to take off and kind of set my own agenda, which I made it a point to really not have an agenda. I just went over with the idea I'd go up and ride Talamina Drive, and come back around and stay the night in McAllister, and then ride back in on the next morning. I had to kind of laugh because my wife asked why I was going to stay the night over there, and it's like I told her. I said, with the deer and stuff in Oklahoma, the last thing I wanted to do was ride back in the dark and tangle with a deer that's suicidal. That seemed like zero fun. So I proceeded to stay the night, which was super relaxing. Got through with the ride, came back to the hotel, took a shower, went and grabbed something to eat. Just came back kind of relaxed. The ride back the next morning was kind of depressing actually, because I'd had such a good time the day before and really liked the bike. Just really don't want that kind of payment right now, especially with trying to make a move here in the next 6 months to Missouri. Don't need any extra bills we don't have to have. So I'm going to make another ride with this bike, go over and do kind of the same routine, and just really looking forward to it. Had a great time on the last ride, and the fact that it seems like here in Colorado we got some really pretty places to go ride. Absolutely beautiful country, but it seems like everyone around here is in such a hurry, and a lot of them could give two hoots if you're on a motorcycle. In fact, even making this video right now, driving through town, I'm running like 7 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I've had a car behind me just riding on my back tire all the way. So one of the cool things about riding over there that I really like and I'm really looking forward to in Missouri, is there's a lot of like little 2-lane highways that kind of twist and turn through the hills, and speed limits are, most of them are right about 55, and I know a lot of people will sit there and say how, man, I just love to get out on the highway and just open that bike up and all this, and kind of to the point in life where, I mean, I love the feel of going and riding and stuff, but I'm not that big into the whole speed thing and riding crazy and all that stuff. So I actually like the highways that are a little bit slower. Just a chance to kind of get out and smell the, people laugh, but smell the roses, which it's amazing. I'd driven through one area of our county to the south of us a number of times in a car. It was always a pretty drive, but it wasn't until I rode it on a bike that, I don't know where the flowers are down in this one valley, but holy cow, it's amazing. You come down into the valley and literally the smell of the flowers is just almost overwhelming. And it is overwhelming in a good way, so that's a plus. But you just feel super connected to where you're at when you're out on a bike. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get hit and rear-ended by someone and become super connected with the ground after that, but I'm hoping that that some of the folks there might be a little more laid back to the motorcycle thing. I'll probably get there and find out that's not going to be true, but I've already looked at rides from where the property is we bought in southwest Missouri down in the Ozarks, and there's looks like a really cool about 3.5-hour loop that goes up and around, actually takes the ferry across Bull Shoals Lake and brings you back around the south side of the lake, and you get a chance to kind of, I don't know, kind of see some of the little towns there in Arkansas, and kind of go from there and maybe stop and grab some food, and then take one of the back highways back up and around to where our property is. I'm figuring it's going to be about a 3.5-hour drive, which is kind of a nice Sunday afternoon getaway. Really hoping that once our kids get down to Missouri after we move, really looking forward to me and my oldest son going and doing some rides down through Arkansas on places, and maybe even head over into Tennessee and Kentucky and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a pretty cool adventure. I never imagined at 56 I'd be pulling up stakes and not even moving because of a job or anything. In fact, I'll be taking a big pay cut to go over there, and the fact that with what I do, I'm going to kind of be starting back over at the bottom of the food chain, which is fine. I'm actually, in ways, really looking forward to it. Obviously, less money's never fun, but money's not everything. So we're gonna get over there and start a whole new chapter in life. See what that chapter looks like. I think it'll be good. I've had people ask me, well, you live in one of the most beautiful states around, why on earth would you want to leave? And for many reasons, like I said earlier, the whole political atmosphere here is just crazy stupid. We're becoming more liberal than even California is, and it's sad because a little tiny cancer spot up in northern Colorado called Denver and Boulder are causing the rest of the state to become miserable. But like I said, when we moved here, I was in my 20s and had some great adventures. Have been all over the mountains, hiked, hunted, fished, and literally it was an amazing time. I wouldn't give it up for the world. The fact that by moving, it's going to be a new chapter, and I've told people that really the the mountains are amazing, but to get out and, I mean, really experience them, you got to get out and walk them, hike them. Kind of sound corny and say be one with them, you know, but it's literally a deal of it's a great thing and great adventures to have when you're young. And at this point, I can tell you that I love elk hunting. It's like one of my true passions. But elk hunting now compared to when I moved here, it was a whole lot more fun then, because when you're younger, hiking up and down those mountains and hiking for 10 plus miles a day, hunting elk, it's a whole lot easier. So this next chapter, I think, the adventures are gonna center more around all the lakes that are around the area we're moving to. One of the lakes that we're right next to, about 5 minutes from, is I want to say at full tide pool, it's around 70,000 acres, which that's a lot of lake to go explore. And a friend of mine that lives in Oklahoma that I've known since high school, he and I were talking one day, and he was like, "You got a lot of lakes up there." And I started looking, and I kind of drew a 2.5 hour radius circle around where we're going to be. And I figured it up just roughly. Could be a little more, could be a little less. About 500,000 acres of lakes within 2.5 hours drive of us, which that is a lot of lakes to go explore and play on. So I'm really looking forward to that part. So one of the things and one of the reasons I kind of decided to do the vlog also is this is going to be some adventures, stuff like that, but it seems like every time I go out and decide, hey, I'm going to go buy something new. I remember a number of years ago I was buying a new portable generator to put on the camper, the toy hauler, and I watched a bunch of reviews. Some were really good, some not so good. I literally kind of amazingly figured out that some people shouldn't review technical stuff that don't have a lot of technical background. Well, I do something totally different now, but I used to work in the semiconductor industry, which means I worked in a microchip factory and worked on the equipment that makes semiconductors, microchips, however you want to term it. And so I do have a technical background. I worked on that equipment, electronics, electrical, mechanical, pneumatic, cooling. So we pretty much handled everything on that system. So I do have a pretty good background in how things work. So I may do some how-to type videos. Like I said, I'm going to do stuff like that, maybe some reviews, maybe some just like this, going out for a day to ride for a little while and throw the camera on my helmet and see what lays ahead of us. I do want to try to, before we move, I'm going to head out west from where we are and head out Highway 50 between Canyon City and Salida. Drive through the canyon there. From the time you hit, we always term it in this area as 8 Mile. It's up where the Royal Gorge is, to the west of Canyon City on Highway 50. But as you go from there on into Salida, it's about an hour. And you pass through a couple of little unincorporated towns in the western part of Fremont County in Colorado. Cotopaxi, Coaldale, Howard, Swissvale, Wellsville. All of those kind of cool little mountain towns. These towns are definitely not Aspen. Although anymore with them being so close to Salida, it's kind of crazy how expensive it's getting. Used to be able to be halfway affordable to buy a place out in the western part of Fremont County, and now those days are gone. I know Salida is kind of a cool little unique town. First time I was there was literally in 1991, and I absolutely loved that little town. Ski area to the west of it called Monarch had the rafting in the summertime. At that time, it was still basically, I think what kind of was the roots for the whole area was the ranching, and had a lot of ranching and a little bit of hay sales, stuff like that in the area. Like I said, cool little town. Even when we moved down here in the late 90s, I seriously wanted to live over in Salida. And actually, I really wish we would have, because we would be leaving with probably close to $1 million equity in a home. You can't even touch a small little shotgun home over in Salida, talking way under 1,000 square feet, maybe 2-bedroom. You're looking at minimum $500,000. So it's definitely not the town it used to be. It's still in a really pretty area. I love the area it's in. As far as the town and the attitude of the people there, not so crazy about it anymore. I try not to stare down my nose at anyone in life, because everyone's different and everyone kind of holds value. I won't say kind of holds value. Everyone has value. You may not agree with the values they hold dear, but if you look hard enough, you can see value in anyone. But over there, it seems like every time you meet someone, man, if you don't share their same views, you are absolutely a piece of shit, which I just don't agree with. I don't agree with it on either side. I am a Christian. I believe in God. I'm a child of God, and I try to be a good follower of Jesus, and I try to learn as much as I can about God. I don't necessarily go to church every Sunday, but I devote every day some time with God and God's Word, which is the Bible. Frankly, that's the only way you're going to ever learn about God, is through the Bible. So, I know quite some time back I was at a men's group at a church, and mind you, I don't agree with the folks up in Denver that are the lawmakers and stuff. But there was one guy there, and he kind of held the view of a lot of the folks there. Man, all he could do is down the people up there, and man, they're nothing but I'm sorry about the French, but all they are to him is a piece of shit. So, I'll be honest, our Governor Polis, I don't like the guy at all, but I could agree with him back during the pandemic. He was super big into the idea of, we need to get the kids back in church, or back in school, I'm sorry. And you know what? I agree with him. He felt like it was a major thing in their learning and their growing up. I can 100% agree with the man. So, I did see value in him, and I think, like I said, if you look at anyone, you can find value in them. Like I said, you may not value their opinions, and you may not agree with them. But anyhow, with people saying stuff like that, I have a hard time, especially when someone says that man, I'm a man of God, and all this stuff. That's great, except I don't think that God would agree with you feeling like everything, like his children being a piece of shit. So, I'll step back down off my soapbox on that. The highway we're on right now is Highway 120. If you saw in the video just a few minutes ago, there was a big facility that we went past. That's a company called Wholesome. That facility there actually makes the binding agents to cement. So they actually mine some of the raw products. They got a big pit to the north of that facility that they get all the powders and stuff out of to use to make the binding agents. So they do that there. This is State Highway 120. Not a very long highway. Literally, this highway is Oh man, like maybe 10 or 12 miles long, if that. Basically, since you've been with me, we've ridden all of Highway 120. We're actually right now just about to join up with Colorado Highway 115, which will go north from Florence. When we get down here to the stop sign, if I go to the left, I'm going to go into the little town of Florence. Kind of a cool little town. Got a whole ton of antique shops. In fact, that's one of the things that their claim to fame is the antique capital of the U.S. as far as they're concerned. I don't know if that's really necessarily true, but it is quite a few antique shops. So we head north. We'll go through the town of Penrose, and then from there you go about 25, almost 30 miles up Highway 115, and you'll be in Colorado Springs. You'll come in on the south end of Colorado Springs next to Fort Carson, and as you come in past the main gate at Fort Carson, you can look up to the left, and you'll see Cheyenne Mountain, or as a lot of people know it as NORAD. Been told by a lot of military friends and stuff that NORAD doesn't have near the critical infrastructure that it used to up there. That a lot of that is now out at Shriver Air Force Base. So I don't think that NORAD or Cheyenne Mountain has quite the mystique it used to have with all the top secret and stuff like that going on there. But as we come through here, this part right here, this pond to the right of me is actually a private pond, but the ponds that were a little bit just 1/8 of a mile back on my right were part of a state wildlife area called the Blue Heron Ponds. Then as you come up here, you're going to see we're going to actually hit a junction up here in just a very short amount of time. That the junction is with Highway 115. Well, I'm sorry, we're on Highway 115. The junction is going to be 50 in Highway 115. 50 is a U.S. highway, so it goes all the way across the United States. Covers a ton of areas. You can run it to the west, go all the way through southern Kansas on it. You can go to the east, go through southern Kansas on it. Going back to the west, you'll hit Canyon City, Salida. Then you'll go up and over Monarch Pass and hit Gunnison and then Montrose. And then it'll kind of wind around for you up through Delta and those towns. And if I'm thinking of it correctly, it's actually hooks back up with I-70 up near Grand Junction. So pretty major highway. Used to be a lot more major than it is now, since obviously the interstates and stuff like that, but still a pretty highway to take. If you're ever going to go through that way and you got some time, I-70 is just such a crazy mess part of the time. If you got the time, man, come on down to southern Colorado, and if you're going out into Utah and places, take 50 across Colorado. It's going to be a lot prettier, some really, really neat little towns. Gunnison's pretty cool. And just come down through there, see all the sights. Right here, we're coming up on it. This was our first roundabout here in near Penrose. My gosh, it's hilarious when they first brought it up. Colorado Department of Transportation brought up the fact of putting in a roundabout, because we used to have problems with traffic coming off of 50 eastbound up to 115 here. It was a nightmare to get across the highway there. So they decided to put in the roundabout, and everyone threw a fit, and why would we want a roundabout, and holy cow, that's stupid. But it actually works really well. I mean, very few times do we ever get the cars stacked up coming off of Highway 50 like we used to. We used to actually have cars stacked up to the point that they would be clear out into the shoulder, and you'd be running down the road, shoot half-mile west of the actual exit ramp itself. So it's actually worked really well. Now up here ahead, you see the stoplight. Oh my gosh. Sometimes small towns don't like change, and this one is no different. And holy cow, they threw a fit over the fact that why on earth would we need a stoplight? Well, what they don't understand is that, like, when you get all the crazy people flying down through here, that you wasn't sure if that car was going to stop back there. When you get people flying down through, stoplights a lot of times will slow them down. I mean, just like hopefully it'll stop them. I mean, I actually wish that in this area out here on 115, I wish they'd throw up another stoplight a little bit north of that one to where it would slow people down even more, you know, because people will come flying down through there. Speed limit's like 45 to 50, and I swear to you, man, they come flying through there 65, 70 miles an hour a lot of times. So I would love to see them throw another stoplight in there just to slow the traffic down. I think I may try to get out and ride again next weekend. If I do, I'll try to make maybe another video, see how this one turns out, see if it's horrible or not, and then once I put it up, see if anyone will even watch it. But I may make another one next weekend. I'm trying to do short rides because I got so much stuff going on, trying to get the house remodeled before we put it up on the market to get it sold. And so I'm not putting a lot of time on the bike, just strictly because I don't have time. I never thought all this remodeling was going to take as much time as it has. I'm actually taking off the week right over Memorial Day. I actually popped it on my kids today at a birthday gathering that we had that I kind of volunteered them to come over and help paint the outside of the house over Memorial Day weekend. So we'll do that. Hopefully we can get all the house painted and done in one weekend, which would be absolutely amazing. That would take a big chunk off of my plate, which I've got so many chunks on my plate right now, it just seems like I'm never going to get it all done. But I have faith that God will get me where I need to be when I need to be there, whatever that may look at. And so yeah, we'll see. Anyhow, we're going down through what we just went through a minute ago was downtown Penrose. I mean, I hope no one blinked because you probably missed it. Literally, we don't have a whole lot of businesses in Penrose. I had to laugh the other day. Now, we got some businesses on my left here as I went by it. It's a wonderful pot farm that smells like hell. We have a number of those throughout Penrose. In fact, there was some folks for a while starting to call us pot rose. They thought it was funny, I'll be honest. I'm so sick of the smell of pot, it's unreal. But, like I said, there's not a lot of businesses in Penrose. A couple of restaurants, the gas station down there that we went past coming in. Hey, we were uptown and actually got us our own Dollar General a while back, which actually, I wasn't quite sure what to think of it when it first went in, thinking, man, this is really stupid for us to have a Dollar General. But I'll be honest, it is so nice a lot of times to be able to just run over there and pick up some stuff that's beyond what the neighborhood market. We've got a little mom and pop owned neighborhood market in downtown Penrose there that we went past. But if you needed anything other than food, you don't get a whole lot of choice, or they just don't have it. So Dollar General's actually been kind of cool for that. So now that you've gotten to sit and listen to me ramble for this whole time, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for today, and hope that this turns out better than the one yesterday. But heck, if it just has audio, it's already going to be 100 times better. Yesterday was a learning curve for sure. Anyhow, folks, if you join me and watch this, thank you. I don't know what the future has in store for what I'll post or what I'll put up, but I would love to have you subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you thought the video was at least tolerable for this amount of time. And you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and God bless, and hope to see you guys show up the next time I have a video. Take care. Bye-bye.